We've got Dr. Bradley Meyer with us right now for another edition of Okoboji's Wellness Clinic's Wellness Wednesday. Good morning, Dr. Meyer.
Good morning, Dave. Glad to be with you, with everybody.
Want to talk a little nature?
Yeah, absolutely. My wife and I, this last weekend, we drove to Chicago in that snowstorm a week ago today, and it was so worth it. We were with the International College of Integrative Medicine, and some luminaries and bright lights from all over the world were there, and these were a lot of healers, physicians, MDs, DOs, and it was life-changing. And we go to these events to get refueled, to learn from others that are on the same path, but it was such a beautiful time to connect with folks and see what they're doing and see that there's other folks out there that were trained traditionally across the country and across the world that are working with multiple tools, working outside the box while still utilizing some of the tools inside the box or in traditional care. So it was absolutely beautiful. We picked up so many great pearls, one of which was just getting back down to basics. And with regard to calming down the parasympathetics, or calming down the sympathetics, getting into parasympathetic state, that means getting out of the fight or flight. And so one of the best ways to do that is to get out in nature. In fact, there was a couple that came from Scotland, and that was the thrust of their message, was getting out into nature, and how they were bringing folks, professionals, everybody from Europe into nature to heal, to ground. And interestingly, that 10% of that we might have trouble getting folks all the way back into this balanced whole state. Sometimes it is if they're stuck in this sympathetic fight or flight overdrive. And so some of the most simple answers to get out of that is to get out in nature and to ground. And as we're here in the springtime now, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to do big things that can get you on the path to healing. Mm-hmm. And so that's such a powerful. Little things literally can have such a big impact. Like last night, I went out with my kids and we were on the trampoline. I was barefooting 15 minutes a day for grounding, and get out there on the soil and with your bare feet. And then I rebounded. I was up and down on the trampoline with my kids and connecting with them. And just a reminder for all of us how important the connection piece is to others, connecting to our environment and to nature, because God put these things here. It's a chance for us to even more so interface with the healing, the Creator, versus when we get stuck inside all day long. We're not getting that beautiful vitamin D, that connection to nature. So always make that part of your routine.
Yeah. I was telling you before we went on, and I think since COVID, there's been a lot of doctors searching for different types of answers. And now with the addition of Robert Kennedy Jr., to the administration as far as make America healthy again, we're starting to see people search for maybe some non-traditional methods and maybe kind of open up cans to different things. And I told you before we went on here, this is astonishing. So they did this in prisons, replacing junk food with whole foods, reduced violence by 80%. In juvenile detention centers, replacing junk food with whole foods reduced violence by 91%. Food is the most powerful intervention for mental health and behavior. I think it was Steve Jobs, and I'm sure he didn't make this up, but believe he said something to the effect that you can use food or medicine, or basically if you don't use food as your medicine, then something else is going to have to play the role of food.
Absolutely. So, and that's when we do the different tools in the toolkit and utilize all the different resources out there. But, the processed food that's out there versus eating whole food based, even if it's little steps that you can take, pick and choose. But, it's some of the most simple things is, are you eliminating? How many times are you going to the bathroom a day? And that's important, because if the drain is plugged, how are we supposed to detox our bodies? Because it's kind of backing up, so to speak. How well are we hydrating? That really helps detox the body. I mean, are we getting a third to half of our body weight roughly in our intake for the amount of pounds we weigh? A third to half of our pounds in ounces of water. Those are the things that, and then the food side, which of course then, as we talk about, can be. It can be throwing kerosene on the fire if we're eating the wrong stuff, or it can absolutely be fuel to get our body balanced and less inflamed. And so, but sometimes we like to give folks options. Many times folks are feeling like they're just spent, they're spinning their wheels, they've got brain fog, they're stressed, they are anxious, they're not sleeping well at night, they don't have the energy they want, and so there's infinite pathways to healing.
One of the things,
the infinite pathways to healing, that's the beautiful thing of for everybody's journey. We want to identify some of the best paths for you. And again, for some of the folks that are really sideways and have done some of these basic things but still are struggling, this is where we use the things like the IASIS neurofeedback, or we work with Dr. Mark Vande Braak, who works on emotional release, and grief and such, because all these things can be blocks to our healing. So sometimes that is part of our big picture. It's like, let's get you in and let's evaluate where you're sideways. If that stress sympathetic overdrive is turned on, there's the piece for slowing that down, sometimes in addition to getting out and grounding, and in addition to drinking water and eating the right foods, getting you plenty of sleep, is to talk through these things with Dr. Vande Braak, or to get going with the IASIS neurofeedback, which again, it's just about a 15 to 20 minute treatment here in the clinic twice a week. And that has just been a game changer for so many. So
yeah, and one of the things that we have talked about, but we should continue to talk about, and we are certainly not anti-pharmaceuticals at all. We do believe that there's a place for pharmaceuticals, and they can be a bridge. But I think what happens to a lot of us is you go in, you see the doctor, and they give you a pill for this, and then the next time you go in and they give you a pill for that, and then 5 years go by and all of a sudden you're on 9 pills, and people never said I was going to be on these pills, like 9 pills, and no one ever said how we're going to get off these pills.
Right, and the way the system is set up, it's set up for quick visits, really short appointment times, and for the doctors, many times traditionally trained, we weren't trained in how we help. We're trained in pharmaceuticals to help with that disease state or symptom, to basically improve a blood pressure or lower a blood sugar. But there are things we can do from a lifestyle perspective and different modality treatment perspective, some of which we have in the clinic, to get the body back into a healing state so that it doesn't need to depend on these prescription pharmaceuticals forever. So it's like if sometimes we utilize those pharmaceuticals in an emergency, or where the blood pressure or blood sugar is really, really high, but our goal really should be to try to get off of those as soon as we get on them. So, it might be 6 to 12 months or maybe a year or two that we're on them. Some folks might say that I really don't want to do that, and I really want to work on bridging off of those, and there's a safe and responsible way to do that. But there is a way for most folks that want to do that to really reduce that pharmaceutical load. It's a decision, and not everybody, unfortunately, knows that that's an option. There is a way.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So this thing is coming really full circle. You can see it with the hyperbaric treatment, a treatment that is not new. It's been around a while, but it has just exploded with success stories, and you have many of your own. Red light therapy, and it just goes on and on.
It's infinite, and these are some of the things I picked up at the conference, and we share ideas. And I got to sit down with Dr. Brownstein. He's written many, many books, very successful MD in outside of Detroit. He has some amazing tools in his clinic that we'll plan to bring back here. And this week we head to Houston and to learn about another way to help the body get back into balance. So we're always looking for more ways to have as options, tools in the tool belts that we can utilize in combination with all those wonderful lifestyle recommendations that we talked about at the onset of the discussion. So we'll continue to grow and plug and again identify what is, one size doesn't fit all. But I will tell you that for many of our folks, when we get working on turning down inflammation in the body, we're utilizing things like ozone. We're utilizing things like hyperbaric therapy. We're utilizing things like IASIS neurofeedback, brain gauge, and so much more. It's a symphony, and we just work on getting that symphony tuned up to your own frequency and your own biorhythm. And you come into the clinic here, and we want this place to again feel like a place of peace, a place of comfort, and of healing and hope that you can begin. We can help walk alongside you in the journey, because it's the quality of the years, many times much more than the quantity. If we can't have that quality, and ask for more for yourself. One doctor, I'll finish with this, was a doctor out of Ohio, and his name was Rene Blaha. He was at the Be Well Clinic. And my last day, Carrie and I, we were sitting with this couple from England, Scotland, and Dr. Blaha said, "Do you know what we are most deficient in is humanity? What is the vitamin that we're most deficient in? What is it? It's unconditional love.
Wow.
Love is healing. It's very powerful.
Yeah.
We want to tap into that. And all of us, we go through life, there's trauma, stress, our adrenals get stressed, and I could not believe that this traditionally trained MD in his 80s on the second day of the conference talked about unconditional love.
Wow.
As how powerful.
Yeah.
So that's the focus. We want love, we want hope, we want healing in your personal journey.
That's just tremendous. All right, for folks that want to live the day, not just survive the day, how do they come see you?
Yeah, we're at 3305 Berquist Avenue in Spirit Lake, just off Highway 71. And you can give us a call at 712-339-6024. I do a discovery call that's complimentary, and that's an opportunity, 15 minutes to talk to me on the phone about where you're at in your journey, what your goals are, and how we can walk alongside you should you decide that you want to start that journey with us here at the Okoboji Wellness Clinic.
Very good. Dr. Meyer, it's always a pleasure. Sorry for the technical issues when we got going. Glad we got it on. All right, have a great day, and we'll chat again soon.
Get out there and get grounded.
Yeah,
be well, everybody.
No kidding. All right, Dr. Bradley Meyer of the Okoboji Wellness Clinic. Find out more at okobojiwellnessclinic.com.